Ladies, gentlemen, and all other gentle people, today I bring you a movie that my grandma had on VHS under her TV cabinet, and that I would occasionally pick up thinking it was Steel Magnolias because both the boxes were pink, and she would have to correct that. I was a small child, don't judge me. Anyways, here's the 1986 film, Peggy Sue Got Married. So, what is it? Well, in the year 1985, Peggy Sue is at her 25th high school reunion. That means she graduated in 1960. She's recently divorced, she has 2 children, and that's all we've got about her. Well, she's very overwhelmed and she passes out into the cake. Well, she wakes up and she has traveled back to 1960, the week of her 18th birthday, which would also be the week she got pregnant and then she had to get married, and that's when the chapter of her story closed, so to speak. To her, anyway. Your life doesn't end when you get married, I promise it doesn't. It's a whole new ass adventure, kind of like Forrest Gump. Anyways, it's exactly like I said, it's just her going through the motions. She's trying to change a bunch of things. Like, she doesn't want to be married to her high school boyfriend, which is who she married, is who's played by Nicolas Cage in one of his worst performances I've ever seen in my whole last life. The Bugs Bunny of it all. She goes on a couple of dates with the hot beatnik that she never got to go on a date with. And for her 18th birthday, instead of getting wienered by Nicolas Cage and getting pregnant, she goes and sees her grandparents. Because obviously 25 years later, her grandparents would be dead. And so she wanted one more day with them. And that was so sweet. And her grandparents were doing what they could to help her time travel back to her right time. And then she comes to, and Nicolas Cage is like, I love you. I broke up with my 20-year-old girlfriend, so we should get back together. And then she's like, yeah, you should start coming over for dinner. So essentially, they'll probably be getting back together. The end. Except, the storyline is not the most important part here. There are 2 vastly important parts I would like you to see. Number 1 would be this dress that's made out of shiny sweatsuit material. It's like a beautiful baked potato. I really like sour cream. And part 2, this is exactly what it looks like. This is Jim Carrey, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, The Mask, Liar Liar, Ace Ventura's Jim Carrey, and Catherine Hicks, Seventh Heaven, Catherine Hicks, the I smoked pot once in college Catherine Hicks, snorting the pure Colombian Bam Bam, making friends with Olaf, combing out Frosty's dandruff. Did you ever in your life think it was going to be Jim Carrey and Catherine Hicks making friends with Olaf here? Well, now you do. Now, did I like it? It was an okay movie. It's probably a lot more fun when you're a lot older. Which, okay, 40 years is a proper time to do a remake. 40 years is plenty of time to put in for a remake. That is okay. So it would be like 13 going on 30, but backwards. Or Hot Tub Time Machine, but without the joy of the Take Your Panties Off song. I'm gonna put it at like 6.5 out of 10 because there is room for a remake now. But also bring back Nicolas Cage again because nobody is gonna be that enthusiastic except him. Okay, bye. Peggy Sue, a Peggy Sue, a pretty, 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 pretty Peggy Sue.